And good morning and welcome to another edition of Telling It Like It Is with me, Ralph Williams, and here's my co-host, Leo Haggerty. Leo, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ralph. Always a
You're
good time on Saturday with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Same here. And today we're in Studio A here at the First Line Consultant Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Usually on Saturday mornings, we're in the B studio, but this morning we're in the A studio. I have to get ready for a DJ gig I have today, so that's why we're in the A studio. I happen to be out here in the A studio to get ready. So, all right, Leo. Let's get ready to talk some general topics here today. We're going to talk some sports later. First, I want to get into some sponsors here. Sleep Pittsburgh. Call them today, 412-462-7858. Call Sleep Pittsburgh today. They have day beds, lift chairs. They have futons. Anything that you need, they have as far as sleep goes. Check out their selection on sleeppittsburgh.com. Stop by on your way out to through the Mon Valley and Homestead, right on 8th Avenue. Sleep Pittsburgh. They also have no credit check financing, and they'll do all the business on the phone or online. So check it out, Sleep Pittsburgh. Once again, the number 412-462-7858. Tell them you heard it here, Sleep Pittsburgh, for the best sleep tonight. All right, Leo, let's get started here. We still don't have a Speaker of the House. They keep playing around there. What do you think of this deal here now?
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to watch any comedy on TV. Just turn into the house.
Oh my gosh, I can't
It, it,
believe it.
it's embarrassing. Well, here's the problem: the fact that the Republicans can't come up with one person. And here's what's the problem: that crazy nine, led by Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Okay, he led the revolt, and basically there wasn't enough votes for McCarthy to stay Speaker. Well, guess what? Now that Matt Gaetz had his candidate up, there's 20 people that said, no, we're not working that. So now the Republicans got to figure out, okay, who can get 217, 218 votes? Who can get that? Because right now, I don't see anybody. And that's kind of crazy.
Well, I think Jim Johnson didn't get in because I think some of these Republicans didn't want Trump involved, because he was the Trump candidate. Trump wanted him in because I guess Trump figures when he gets elected again as president, if that's the case, I mean, Trump's putting the cart before the horse, Leo. He thinks he's getting elected. I don't know. He might not. I don't know. But at the moment, he's got some criminal things he's involved in courts, in the court system, and a bunch of stuff. And I don't know how many people are going to vote for him. I'd vote for none of the above if it's me.
Yeah, and again, I go back to it's gotten to a point now with me, Ralph. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't vote for, I vote against. I'm taking the person, okay, who's the one that's going to hurt me the least? And
Right.
again, I'm taking the one I don't want in there. And
Exactly.
the problem with the Republicans now is they're afraid to make a clean break with Trump
Yes.
because he still has a pretty good base among Republican voters. And if he throws it out, boom, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You are. If that's going to be the case, because I got to tell you, he's just like I said, he's putting the cart before the horse. He can't do that. Uh, Anyway, I want to talk about laziness in this country. And I got a perfect example here. And Monday, I'm going to put it on the way we see it. But my friend Bubba Brewer, he's been on my, he does a post game show with me, Steeler post game on day games. We're doing one on Sunday, but he's not going to be involved. He's getting married today. Now, listen to this. He went to go get his suit dry cleaned, all right, or his tux or whatever it is he was wearing for his wedding. And the girl there was 16 years old working at the dry cleaner. She said she could not work the presser or do any of the dry cleaning equipment because she's not 18 years old. I guess there's a state law or something like that that says you can't work that kind of equipment. So she was by herself there at the dry cleaning place. And when he went in and said, "What's going on?" They said they've needed help on it for years. Can't get anybody to work. There's a classic example of why with the how lazy this society is today, Leo. What do you think of this?
Well, there's a reason why we have child labor laws. Okay, I understand it because employers would hire kids because you could pay them less than adults. So
Right.
that's why we had it. That's also why we have mandatory education laws too, right?
Yes.
You got to go to school, so you can't go out and work and take jobs away from adults. Fine, but that's kind of a tough one, Ralph, because you don't want a kid in there doing that kind of work. One, if
Right.
it's dangerous. So
Yeah. I know.
yeah, yeah, I get that, but the fact that we can't find anybody 18 years old enough to do it, that's the scary part.
Absolutely. And I read something yesterday. There was a lady who had a homeless guy come in and asked for some money at a business in Pittsburgh here. They didn't name the business. It was a restaurant though. He come in, he asked for some money. Lady says, you like to work? And he says, yes. She said, well, guess what? I need you to wash some dishes and I need you to take out the trash. So he worked for her for 2 hours that night. She gave him a free meal and paid him for his work. Now he comes in, he works 5 days a week, 2 hours a night. He washes dishes, takes out the trash, and uses his employee discount to buy his meal every night. And he's so happy now because he's got a job. He was a convicted felon. I think that's a very superstar thing to do as far as that goes. What do you think,
Yeah,
Leo?
yeah, and
And-
it, there's jobs out there. People
oh,
just
I know.
got to want to work. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. We got jobs here. The public transit system here, PRT, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, they start you out at $20 an hour. You go through 12 weeks of training, they give you benefits and $20 an hour. And then when you finally turn in as a student, you make $25 an hour. I don't get this full benefits. Oh, I know what it is. I'm sorry, Leo. Nobody wants to work holidays and weekends. That's the biggest problem. And I think that, there's a long society of people, and then they complain because the immigrants take their jobs. What do you think of this?
well, you know what, Ralph? I'm gonna jump in here with education real quick
Uh huh.
because school boards have to figure out that you don't
Right.
come cheap. You don't come cheap anymore. So when you're looking at this, bus drivers can't find them because they're not willing to pay. School teachers can't find them, not willing to pay. School boards got to figure out, and this is what's crazy. They're spending all these money on programs. Don't spend it on programs, spend it on people because that's what's out there in front of the kids. Those are the grunts. Those are the ones down in the trenches that are teaching the kids. The bus drivers, the food service employees, the custodians. And again, I had a great line one time when a custodian told me, you know what the difference between a custodian and a janitor is? I said, no. I said, a janitor comes in at 9 o'clock, does his job, goes home at 5. A custodian is there 24/7. I said, boy, that's a great line. And that's a great story because that's pretty much what it is. Take pride in what you do, but you know what, folks? Pay these people. They'll work, but they're not going to work for peanuts anymore. That's not going to happen.
No, I actually admire unions now. I mean, we have the auto workers who basically are on strike now. You still got some of them Hollywood folks on strike. They want to be paid, and I don't blame them. Just like athletes want to be paid, they move around. And later on, we're going to talk about something very interesting that I found out today or last night that I see quite disturbing. A couple different things in sports. A couple of athletes got arrested in the last week or so. So we're going to talk about that later on. But anyway, for all this to go on with these strikes and everything, people want paid. We got some strikes going on.
Oh,
We got some strikes going on here locally. Yeah, I got my dog barking here, so
oh, the dog's agreeing with you, Ralph. He's saying it's rough.
exactly. Yeah, he wants to be
It's
part of
rough.
the show.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, like I said, these are people who, and I don't blame them for doing it. I mean, our newspaper, the Post Gazette, they've been on strike for over a year now. What are your thoughts on these strikes?
Well, the sad thing is you got to go on strike to get the employer's attention. And you know what? The auto workers, I was wondering, hey, you may be asking for too much. Then I found out what that upper management was making. Oh,
Oh
you know
yeah.
what? That's that's one thing you can't do. It's just you can't do it because it's going to be crazy.
Well, how about the one guy that came on? He came on nightly news. He said he's been working for the last 10 years, making 15.41 an hour. He hasn't had a raise in 10 years for one of the auto companies. All right.
Yeah.
I blame the unions for this too. Why would you negotiate something like that? I don't get that either. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Well, it, Ralph, it's gotten to a point now where you're more interested in keeping the benefits because if you get and what a lot of unions are doing, they're saying, okay, we'll take like a 5 or 6% increase, but you're keeping those benefit costs at where it is now. Because what's happening is you'll get that 10% increase, but your insurance will go up 15%. So out of pocket, you're in trouble. It's something that unions are starting to look at, that benefits are just as or sometimes more important than salary because you can't afford to get sick in this country right now if you don't have insurance.
Oh, it's crazy out there. This is ridiculous. I don't know. We're supposed to have insurance all across the board, and they punish you at tax time when you go there and they say, do you have medical benefits? You tell them no, they charge you a penalty. So I mean, it's just crazy with healthcare in this world today.
You know
Let's get
what, Ralph? I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed this now or not, but
uh
a lot of the restaurants uh, and companies, they're charging you 3.5% of your bill to use your credit card. And
yeah,
it's what the gas companies have always done. The tax on gas, they just pass it on to the consumer. Well, these restaurants and businesses are saying, okay, you want to use a credit card, it's going to cost you. We're just
right.
not going to pay that 3.5% anymore. And I get it. I get it. Either show up with cash or be ready to pay that 3.5%.
If you have a debit card from, like an Asus debit card or something or whatever, one of them things you see on TV. If you use one of them debit cards at a gas station, they take $55 out of your account first. Then when you pump the gas, if it doesn't clear, they take 55 plus they take the money that that's stealing. And I brought this up on my show many times, the way I see it about this stealing. And do you know, no one has done anything about it. I haven't heard any uproar from anybody or anything. So, you have to go inside now to the convenience store to pay, or they'll charge you if you have a debit account with a debit company, somebody like an Aces Cash Express or one of them places, or, Cat, whatever they are, and so if you have one of those and you use it at the pump, they charge you $55, but then they put it back into your account, but still that's stealing because you didn't give them that kind of authorization to do that. And I think that something needs to be done about that. What do you think?
Well, it's only stealing if they don't give you the money back. But again,
Yeah, I know.
it's not stealing, but it's not giving you a good optic of what's going on.
Right,
And they're basically saying, okay, we're going to charge you $55 right now, and
right.
you basically you got an account for $55. You go over it, you're going to have to come in and pay. You go under it, we'll take it off. But that's it's almost like going to the hotels now. They take your credit card now. They don't take an amount, but they say, hey, we need a credit card in case you have a sundry bills, like you use the phone or this and that and the other thing. So yeah, crazy.
Oh, it's nuts out there with that stuff. Fees everywhere. And these banks they're robbing everybody and it's really sad. All right, Leo, let's get into some sports. Antonio Brown got arrested again. Now he's arrested for not paying his child support. He owes $15,000 to this lady. What's your thoughts on Antonio Brown? This guy needs a lot of help.
Oh yeah, a lot of help. And again, I remember the last thing he did with Tampa. He went off the reservation, literally and figuratively.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. He needs help. He also needs somebody maybe to help manage his money
Yeah.
because it's obvious he's not paying child support. So that's the biggest problem he's got right now is does he
Oh,
have the money? Hello.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, also I found out last night Dan Serafini has been arrested. Remember him?
I saw that. Yeah, for
Yes.
murder.
Yeah,
Wow.
for murder. And what's interesting? I saw him on Bar Rescue. John Taffer came to rescue. He owns a bar somewhere in California, And but John Taffer came and rescued his bar. And I was quite surprised when I heard last night about Dan Serafini. He was with the Pirates for about a month, and I forgot about that a long time ago. But anyway, it's really sad to hear that. What are your thoughts on Dan Serafini?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just to when I watch TV, I go, wait a second, he's up for murder and attempted murder, and I go, what the heck is going on? Is it? It looks like his father-in-law, mother-in-law. I mean, just like, whoa, that's that's some bad stuff. That's bad juju, Ralph. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely makes them look really bad. And so all right, let me talk to you today about Bon Journey. Bon Journey is a cover band that plays Bon Jovi and Journey tunes here in Western Pennsylvania. Tonight they will be at the Oaks Theater in Oakmont. Head on out there tonight. They have an opening band. They start at 8. They start the Bon Journey comes out at 8:30. The time was moved from 8 to 8:30. The opening band will play for almost 90 minutes or so, and then Bon Journey comes out and plays. Will be at the Oaks Theater in Oakmont. November the 8th, they will be at the Rivers Casino at the Drum Bar. So I've seen them there at the Drum Bar, and that's not a very well, it's a small kind of place, but everyone goes there for this. November 18th, they're going to be at Bar 31, owned by former Penguin goalie Kenny Reckett. Owns this bar. You'll be there on November 18th. So go check out Bon Journey on those dates that I had just mentioned there as well. Draft412.com. Draft412.com is a website, and they also have an e-magazine. You pay $9 a month. They cover all the drafts. They give you all the players, the lowdowns, the skinnies, and everything else on what's going on in the world of sports. Draft412.com. Subscribe to their e-magazine. It'll come in your inbox for $9 a month. It's not that expensive. Check their website out. They have a bunch of podcasts as well and some radio shows. All right, we're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. You call them for a website. They'll build your website, manage it for you, and do it all. Also, upload your videos. So at a low monthly price. First Line Consulting Services Studio, who is our studio sponsors here on Telling It Like It Is no RW Media shows. This show is brought to you today by RW Media and Amped Up Sports as well. Leo, let's talk a little bit about the baseball playoffs right now. We have Arizona versus the Philadelphia Phillies, and then we have Houston and Texas. I thought it was going to be Texas and Atlanta. That was my original pick. But now it looks like I'm going to have to pick somebody else. You think Arizona can come through and beat Philadelphia, or do you think the Phillies are going to take it?
Well, you got Wheeler and Nola going, and they've been lights out for the Phillies so far. So you know what, I just don't think Arizona's got enough. I'll tell you what, Ralph, I don't agree with what the professional teams are doing with these 7 game playoffs: 2 at home, 3 on the road, and 2 at home. That's penalizing the team with the better record. It should be 3-3-1. Just
Right,
why,
right, right,
why is that happening? And I just they're saying, well, we want to end up with uh, less travel instead of it used to be, remember, 2-2 and then 1-1 and 1, but now they're saying, we don't want travel. Well, then don't go 3 there. Just that's crazy. But
right.
I still like the Phillies there. And you know what, Ralph? Home team hasn't won a game yet in that Texas Houston series. And if you remember back when Washington they won the World Series with Houston, home team didn't win one of the 7 games. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting still. But Ralph, how about last night in the Texas Houston game when Garcia hits the home run and just stands there and watches it and walks? I went to my wife. I said, "Oh, he's getting hit next time up." Dusty Baker isn't going to put up with that. He's old school. And look what happened. He gets
Yeah.
drilled, and they're saying, "Whoa, that wasn't a purple." Yeah, it was. Come on, Dusty. Just tell him, hey, you don't do that as a Major League Baseball player. You don't stand there, admire it, walk in, and throw your bat down. No, you're going to on the next time up, and he did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Uh, let's talk about a little bit about the again, Colorado Prime, Coach Prime. His team is already proposed to be in a bowl game. What happens if this team only wins 4 games this year? Are they still going to be in that bowl game, or
Nope.
what do you think college football is going to do with that?
No, can't do it. You can't do
Oh,
it. You
I
gotta
know.
have six.
But here's the
Gotta have six
problem we
wins.
have with this. You know, they're already saying that they're going to be in this bowl game and already putting them in there because of Coach Prime. But then on the other hand, they're going ahead and sticking them in there. But like I said, what happens if we win 4 games? So college football is going to say no, probably.
Oh, absolutely, they're going to say that
Right.
because you got to win 6 games. Bottom
Yeah.
line, 6 games. No way
Oh,
around it.
well, do you think Colorado will win 6 games? I
They
think they might.
yeah, they probably will.
Yeah.
They'll come up. Now I'll tell you what. Will they win 7? Maybe not. I think 6-6 is a great season after what they were last year.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it is. Even if they won 3 games, it was better than last year. 1 game is better because they won no games last year. They were like 0-12 or something like that, I
They're
think.
1-11, I think.
Or
Yeah,
1-11, yeah, something like that. I think they beat, what was it, Colorado State Prison or something or some, you know what I mean? Yeah, so,
yeah. They,
I
they
mean,
found some Colorado School of the Mines or something like
yeah, or
that.
something like that, yeah. You know what they used to say here? The little sisters of the poor, or
Yeah,
something. Would
yeah.
it would play somebody. So anyway, so what's your thoughts on this week's college games?
You know what? Great game coming up here at noon, Ralph. Penn State at Ohio State.
Yeah,
I think Penn State's going to pull the upset. Again, I I think their quarterback is better. I'm still not sold on the Ohio State quarterback, McLeod. It's just I'm not there yet. I
right.
like Lamar, Penn State, and again, as long as you are getting great quarterback play, you're probably going to win.
Mhm.
But I like
Yeah,
that one.
that
Tennessee at Alabama. You know what? Alabama has trouble scoring points. Tennessee doesn't. That
right,
should be
right.
interesting. Very interesting game.
Yeah, I think Tennessee might win that. I think Tennessee's gonna win that game. I like Steve Sarkisian. I think he's a good coach, and I think Alabama's starting to fall a little bit, because I don't think they have it's gonna be a couple years for Alabama, I think now. What do you think of that?
No, Alf, and here's why. Every decent quarterback is going to go in the portal to go to Alabama next year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. They're all going to jump in there, and they're going to sit there, and they're going to end up, okay, fine, we're going to go to Alabama, and he'll just Nick will have his pick of the litter, and that's what's happening.
What do you think, how's South Florida looking today? Who are they playing?
You know what, Ralph? They're playing Connecticut up there. The weather's terrible, which I think is advantage South Florida. Here's why: it'll force them to run the ball. They can run the football. Now they're not going to be able to throw it, as much
Right.
because of the weather. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be wet. It's going to be 58 degrees. But now you run the ball, and I'll tell you what, they can run the football. You know,
Right.
Daquan, running back, he's been over 100 yards the last couple games. Byron Brown, the quarterback, still a good runner. So yeah, I think South Florida wins, and I think they win big at Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut's not that good. Jim Moore Jr. is their coach. He wasn't a good coach when he was in the NFL, and I think he coached at UCLA there for a little while. He wasn't good there either. So so we'll see what happens with Connecticut. They're now in I believe, the American Athletic Conference. I think they're in now. They were an independent for a little while, and now they're in the American Athletic Conference, I believe. So we'll see what goes on
Well,
here. We
Ralph, they're going in. Connecticut is now in the Big East with
Well,
basketball.
there's no Big East as far as football goes. If you
Right,
wanna go into football Big East, you gotta go in the American Athletic Conference.
right.
So I believe they're there. That's where they are. So, yeah, the Big East, doesn't have a football conference. They only have a basketball conference, but
Right, and Connecticut's still an independent for that. They're not in the
oh, they're not
AAC
in
yet.
anything yet? Okay, I
Nope.
thought I heard a rumor they were in some kind of a conference or something, but I guess not.
Nope.
So, but anyway, what about the NFL, Leo? What's your thoughts this week on the games? What's Tampa looking like this week? They got beat last week by the Lions.
The whole NFC South lost last week, and
Atlanta looked horrible. I took Atlanta. They looked bad. And then, you know, I took a couple teams that I took the Titans, and they lost, and then I made some picks. I was on another show last Wednesday called the Hey Peanut Sports Show, and not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that, and they said, they asked me my picks when I was on their show, and I gave my picks, and I blew it, so
Well, you know what, Ralph? I had three last week, and I had Cleveland beating San Francisco straight up. And I had Jacksonville winning, but I had the Eagles winning. So I was 2-1, but I was, the wrong one. But I tell you what, I, I like what's happening this weekend in
uh-huh.
terms of you got Philadelphia and Miami, right?
Right. Yeah,
That
that's gonna be a really good game. We're gonna see what Miami's made of this week, and Philly's on a little slump right now,
yeah,
so
and you know what? You never want to play the Eagles after a loss because now they are fully focused.
yes,
So
they are.
that's
They are.
kind of crazy. But yeah, the NFL. I'll tell you what, Ralph. Let me get on my soapbox. Thursday night football. The NFL's got to give a team a bye before that. You're
Yeah,
just not.
they have to start doing that. The Steelers got the same problem. They have a Thursday night game coming up sometime in the next few weeks, right
Yeah,
after a Sunday game. That's unacceptable. And then
it
I don't
is.
like this Thursday night on Amazon. NFL lost money with it last year, and they're doing it again this year. Why would you continue to do something and lose money? No one's participating in that. Why should I buy Amazon just to watch Thursday night football? I don't even have Amazon Prime or anything like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
and here's the worst part, Ralph. Tampa Bay has a home game last week, a home game this week, and now they got to go to Buffalo on Thursday. You
uh-uh,
playing, you're playing 3 games in 12 days.
right.
That's not right. You know,
It's not.
you're going to end up with injury after injury.
Scheduling has to get better. They
Well,
have committees for that, that kind of thing. You know what I
hey,
mean?
Ralph, I'm going to throw this out. Put me on the scheduling committee because I can
Yeah.
fix this. I'll fix it in 30 seconds. Here's what happens: you you get a bye the week before you play a Thursday night game. That
Right.
means you got 10 days there. Then you got 10 days till the following Sunday. How hard is this? Hey, NFL, are you listening? Book it, Dano.
That's it. That's it, Leo. Leo, thanks for being on the program again this morning. We'll be back next Saturday with Telling It Like It Is every Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, X platforms as well. Leo, thanks for being on the program. Talk to you next week. Good luck with your you're gonna do South Florida today, right?
Yeah, they're up at Connecticut, so we're not
Oh,
going to be
they're in
out there.
Connecticut,
But
so they're not home. I
I'm
see. Okay.
getting ready to post my Leo's losers. So I'll talk to
There
you
you
later,
go.
Ralph.
Well,
Take care, buddy.
we'll see what Pitt does today. They're playing
They're a pick
Wake.
'em with Wake.
Yeah, they're playing Wake Forest. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens there.
All right, buddy. Take
All right,
care.
have a great one. Thanks, Leo. Leo Haggerty, who's the co-host here on Telling It Like It Is. We're here every Saturday morning here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. I want to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio. Hillcrest Farm, call 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. You can also email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. Richmond, Ohio is located right up the hill from Steubenville, 45 minutes from Pittsburgh if you live in the downtown area. And then also check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com. They're also shipping, so you can order right off their website and get a hold of them on their email, hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. And they'll give you the appropriate things to put into the GPS so you don't get lost getting to the farm. So Hillcrest Farm has specialty deals, $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. And they have other deals as well. So check them out. Give them a call. Those numbers again, 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Take the kids out to the farm. Go visit Taylor and Caitlin. Tell them you heard it here on Telling It Like It Is, RW Media Productions. I'm Ralph Williams. This has been Telling It Like It Is. We'll be back next Saturday. Have yourself a great day and a great weekend. See you Monday for The Way We See It with me, Ralph Williams, Bill Canada. We have a lot to talk about. They cleaned up the homeless camp down in the South Side and a whole lot of other things to talk about. So don't forget, tune in Monday, 7 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. Tuesday, Sports Corner, Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM, 1230 AM. Also live on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. I have Artie Source coming on from LA. He has a sports group called Galaxy Sports. Will soon to be a sponsor of Sports Corner. And also, we're going to have Scott Morganroth from the South Florida Tribune, who's already a sponsor of Sports Corner. He's coming on to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Steelers are going to be playing. We'll have our fake Mike Tomlin press conference, my rant, and also we will have Smoking Jim's wisdom and a whole lot more. So don't forget to tune in to Sports Corner on Beaver County Radio as well as online. Wednesday, 10:30 p.m., I'll be on the sports web with Peter Blake, myself, Mark Mancini. We talk a segment wrestling called Turnbuckle Talk at 10:30 p.m. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Bubba Brewer, Smoking Jim Frazier, Mark Mancini, 7:30 p.m. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631 is the number to call to listen to the show. Friday, 11 a.m., the External Bum podcast. Myself, Scott Morganroth, Mark Mancini, Joe Kuglis, and once in a while, Jim Toth fills in for him, or JD Toth fills in for him as well. All right, so and then Saturday morning here at 10:30 a.m., telling it like it is, myself and Leo Haggerty. Have yourself a great one. Thank you.